Ooh, boom, boom. Still doing this, I guess. Hey everybody, what's up? This is Retrokid Reviews, and I don't know, something's different with my new mic setup. Let me go take a look. I don't know what it is. Oh, that's right. I got a ring light finally, so I don't have to just like jingle around with the lamp and stuff like that. So first and foremost, I want to thank my family for that as well. And still fixing with lighting. I guess more things change, I guess. So, with me figuring out my standing setup aside, yeah, this is definitely not my angle, but the main reason I'm having the new setup here is that beta tested for essentially Toku news I'm catching up on as far as this week goes. And I'm not even kidding. I'm standing and I have to still put it at a weird angle, so you can tell I'm at that kind of level of I'm totally 5-something, I promise. Anyway, jokes aside, let's just get to the Toku news before we get back to business with my assumed Toku, I'm sorry, Marvel Legends review next week. I put it off mainly because of what's been going on, and obviously I'm currently in the works of binging through the new season of Squid Game. I've only sat through the first 3 episodes. I know it gets a little bit of a downhill when you get to the midpoint of the season. Thanos, that dude is wild, and I didn't even see like the big stuff he did in the competition. So, again, I'll talk more about that next week. So, until then, let's do some Toku roundup. Yeah, let's start with Boonboomger, episode 43, aka I said this is the last crossover. I will only show up when the crossovers are around or if they're true. And turns out the Gokaiger crossover was very true. I'll leave the links down below for the poster for their final arc. So regardless, I just like the whole idea of Toei committing to doing essentially new age stuff when it comes to talking about Sentai and their new arcs. Wow, this is really tall for a new standing desk setup. I'm going to try my best to lower, I guess, this the next time around. So, apologies if I just look super shrunken out from the posters than usual. So, my bad. New lighting, new everything. Still figuring out the kinks when it comes to this new equipment. So, again, leave me, I guess, comments and suggestions where to put it better next time. But yeah, for the Gokaiger cameo, now normally, when this kind of thing happens with Anniversary Sentai, you tend to realize, okay, when's Marv showing up, he's usually the go-to for that kind of stuff. No, it's actually Joe this time around, and I want to give a shout out to Hot Achilles when he talked about this on the stream. I want to say late this last week, by the time this drops. Yeah, it turns out Gokai Blue's actor, Joe, was actually in Godzilla -1. My absolute apologies. It completely lost me when I was doing roundups for that last year. I guess rewatching it to cover my bases. So there you go. Also, I absolutely need to change my angling. It's hard with a new setup. It just makes it taller than it actually is here in the house. So, I'll get to that when I get to that. For the crossover itself, was actually pretty cool. From what I've seen in the highlights, it was only just the Raws. I'm still looking for official subs to link down below. So, no subs yet. I know there were subs eventually. I think Toku Fun probably had a link to it, so I'll leave that at the very least if you want to look for the YouTube links of it. They probably did, obviously, for Google reasons. But yeah, the full episode itself looked pretty good. Again, standard, get the Monster of the Week kind of stuff. But the thing I noticed is that the red in Boonboomger, this was me still coming off of the Raws. He looked way too focused and was like really like not really matching his freak when it comes to Joe, because it's Joe. But, actually, like, being cool with him, like, he's more cool than him than I thought he would be with if it was, like, Marv or whatever, but who really knows? Maybe the episode was written to be with him and Marv, like, chilling, but, again, I won't know until I get full context and full translation, so that's where I am there. So, last up in the roundup is basically my thoughts of episode 17 of Kamen Rider Gavv. Their third writer showed up, again, same thing, I only just sat through the Raws. I think, a lot of Toku channel regulars, Marcos and his React buddies are probably already talking about that. I'll leave the cards there if anything else. I'm not the only one behind. I think Zio Agito is a little bit behind, also doing roundups for Gavv. So he probably has a full roundup as well for the last couple episodes leading up to that. So like always, last cards there. So my overall thoughts with Valve, if I got his name right. I know there's another V named I think Valen. I could be wrong. I like Valen's story as a secondary before we get into the new guy. He's got a lot going on. He's a private investigator, seeing some stuff, and I think at this point he is gelling with Gavv, which is actually pretty cool. So Again, I'm already on writer name basis, which means it's been a while since I've seen the actual character name. So, again, I need to do a rewatch for that as far as translations go. But the transformation for the new guy, very pudding themed. It's a very simplistic rider belt design. I do like that everyone in the secondary rider department are having their own individual belt, which is actually pretty cool. I wouldn't mind standardized riders with a standardized belt later down the road, but that's probably going to be another tournament arc or whatever Toy will be thinking of next time for 2025 rider. So we'll figure that out as we figure it out. As for the transformation itself, the Henshin was nice. Again, the pudding theme was a little nice. I'm almost starting the same thing with Valen. When he gets his secondary forms, they'll probably have like a hard shell kind of thing, like whatever confectionery that usually associates with like a hard shell for like pudding would be the same thing there too, as like a secondary armor kind of thing along with it as a secondary Henshin. So that's really it as far as updates go. Like I said earlier, I am going to try to do my best to use this as a drop-down setup for my Marvel Legends Captain America reviews for both Sam and Steve. So I'm gonna try my best to get that off the ground next week. This will not definitely be used as vlog fodder for Squid Game because wow, the height ratio just seeing in person is a little bit higher than I was expecting. So yeah, you would be seeing a lot more posters than usual. So I think trying to figure out the angles next week aside, what did you think of this week's Toku content? My scores so far are none because, again, I have to do full context and I have to do full translation reviews for it, essentially. So until next time, end card's finally coming up to my previous video here, which was discussing Steven Seagal for the kickoff for retro reviews for this year. Other end here to my Schwartz playlist, and like I said earlier this week with the Steven Seagal review, my heart goes out to literally everybody in LA going through the wildfires right now, especially Critical Role, and I believe producer Kyle and his partner had his house taken down from those said fires. They're fine from what I've heard so far. I think they have a GoFundMe. I'll leave that down below. They might have met their goals, but it never hurts to just give a little more just in case for like insurance reasons and stuff like that. I am a U.S. guy. For any international fans, this is kind of how it is when tragedies like this struck. As usual, links down below, along with the Critical Role Foundation and any other charities that I could be thinking off the top of my head. I think Internet Today has a food bank also, so I'll leave their current video so you could give to the food bank there to help out with the LA fires. And with that all being said, thank you for watching. Sorry this is a weirder angle than usual. Again, I have a new setup, and I'm trying to figure out with the lighting as well, and with it almost blinding me aside. I'm Retrokid. Retrokid Review said, wow, Joe's back. Holy crap, I actually want to see the subs. No, seriously, Boonboomger is actually cooking in their final arcs.